All right. So any comments on the minutes?
Nope. I
No.
move to accept.
There's a second. There we
Second.
go. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, we'll do some real quick, just any comments from the from tenants. And again, as always, we'll try to keep this short and we'll zip right through. But Wendy, any Happy New Year and any thoughts from you?
Um, I'm sounding nasal too. Add to the, what a sick bay here we have. No, I just kind of I wondered because as at the end of last meeting, I called the Westmount number that ended in 2 to mention the light at the entrance to the parking near where the sign is.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know if it was received. The light is still out, so that it's a parking overhead parking light thing right at the corner. So just saying. So I did immediately after the meeting call that number. But anyway, lots of things on the agenda for everybody, as well as staying well. That's about it.
Yeah.
Cindy? Oh, sorry, Amy, did you have just an update on that? Or?
Yeah. Gunner is finding out what the part is so that we can have that ordered.
Super.
Oh, is that?
That's Amy.
Is that Amy to Wendy?
Yes. So your message was received and Gunner is checking on it.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much. There's just
I've also ordered new lights that are supposed to be brighter. So as soon as I can get enough sunlight to charge the darn things, I'll install them. So hopefully the ground won't be frozen by the time I have to put the stakes in.
Yeah.
So
all right. Yeah,
time of the year.
The solar ones are going out probably around 8 o'clock at night. So they're not much.
What lights are you all referring to? Because lights here are so bright. I mean, we could have a baseball game here.
No,
these are on the sign, Cindy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The entrance sign and also the entrance. There's a street lamp sort of thing at the entrance that's out.
Yes. Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need the parking lot any brighter.
No. We don't need them any more brighter. Everyone's got blackout curtains here.
All right. So, Cindy, any comments from you?
No, I have no comments. The only thing I would always do is just the team is just outstanding last year. So
super. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry, who's the? Let's see. Who else? Who's the JLWES?
Jim Westlake. I don't have any questions or comments.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And
Melissa.
Melissa.
No comments.
Very well. Well, thank you all. And again, we'll just keep on going along here. So I guess we're up for your report, anything from the officers and then from the committees and staff. So I guess we're going for the Westmount report. So Amy, anything, do you want to bring us through the key elements of the reports?
Yes. Yeah, before she starts, Amy, Rick sent out the reports late and didn't include the status report, which I look forward to getting each month because it has information like vacancies and things like that. So if you can email that to me.
That was the first reports he sent out.
I didn't see anything there. I saw all the others. There were 6 of them.
The report was the first one he attached.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was the first one he attached.
I don't know why. I always miss the first one.
Yeah,
so if you can send it to me, I'd appreciate it.
No worries. That's not a problem. My thing, and the other reports were late because I was out all last week, and I just returned this morning. So I wasn't able to do my AR report until this morning. So that then when he got it, he sent it out. So that's on me. Okay, that one. But the other ones he did send. Everything else.
No big deal. But the phase 2 financials they were dated October 31 rather than November.
Okay, I'll let him know that, and we can address it and fix it to be the correct date. I'm not sure. Maybe that was an error. Yeah, I see what you said. The period and date. Okay. The property status report. Okay, so right now we do have some vacancies, and there's work that needs to be done in them. So 335, we already have a tenant for. It's just waiting for the unit to become ready. There was lots of garbage left behind. We still got to remove that piano. Haven't had no luck with that. We needed to put the utilities on because they shut the utilities down. So it takes a little time for them to come back out and re-put on those utilities for us under our management name. And then, so we're hoping we have that ready by the 15th. 324, we're getting applicants. The problem with that is it's a 1-bedroom, and the rents have gone up. So the rent for a 1-bedroom is now almost 1550, so 1548. Minimum income requirements is 56,000. So I'm not getting people that are meeting those minimum requirements because they're not making that, and they're expecting to be getting RAD units when they're applying. They want RAD units, but our threshold of RAD units is poverty stricken. So they don't even qualify for RAD units. So they're like these middlemen that don't qualify for either way, that I keep on getting applicants for. So 111 just gave their keys in. They dropped the keys off the other day instead of waiting for me to hold them. But I got his keys back on time. 111 is another 1-bedroom I'll be having getting ready, and 411 was an eviction. And we were looking for a RAD family for 2-bedroom there. But other than that, that's all we have at this time.
So it's a total of 4 vacancies?
Yes, 4 vacancies at this moment. Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to, hi Rick, how long do you think it's going to take to get 411 ready?
411, we are trying to get that ready by the 15th or the first of the next month. Because there's a lot of work to be done. They damaged they abused the apartment as they know they were leaving, and they just took to it. So I left a whole bunch of trash behind, damaged the apartment. This is what people do when they get evicted.
And there's probably nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
Do we need a piano in the common room or in the base over at Canaan Parish?
I don't mind having a piano here. We have the space for it. I have a little location over there for it, but how are we gonna get it over here? That's the other thing. And okay. The guys are like, that's too heavy.
Amy, I mentioned in the last meeting about using this thing called Nextdoor, where people put things for sale and the people pick it up. Yeah. I'll be glad to help you with that. If I can get a picture of the piano, maybe I'll go take a picture of the piano and I will list it.
No worries. I could give that to you.
Okay.
I have it. Yeah. So we're just waiting right now for the utilities on so that we could finish up that apartment.
Can I ask a question? Amy,
sure,
what do you mean by RAD when you say RAD?
Those are our Section 8 units. They're the rental assistant. Yeah, they're the rental assistant unit. That's different.
Okay. Okay. And then when you say that the single apartments are 1550, that doesn't include the utility allowance, right?
No, that's what the rents are with the utility allowance.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have a question, and in terms of terminology, I've heard, what is AR?
AR? That's accounts receivable.
Yeah, so it's amount that will
receivable. Okay, thank you. I just heard it thrown around and just didn't know what it was. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So in the 1-bedrooms, you can have either 1 or 2 people, right?
Yeah, no more than that.
No more than 2. Okay. So if somebody is looking as a couple looking for a place, you would have potentially 2 openings for 1-bedrooms. Correct. Okay.
And is that 1550 with the 3% increase?
Yeah, that already that's the price of that apartment at this time.
Thank you.
All right. keep going? I freeze. So, right. So what do we have up next?
So you want to go over the accounts receivable? Amy and Rick?
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
I thought you were still doing the tenant portion.
Yes, no worries. Yeah, so we have, we're still working with the DSS to get a recapture on some fundings from them. We've got majority of that came in, from Jay D'Amelia. And, so we don't have a lot outstanding at this point. We're trying to make sure those things are updated and on point. I know we have access to a portal now to see what's going on. As they come in, we weren't getting notifications of the changes of people's rents and adjustments according to whatever they do with them. So now I think we're back on track with a lot of it, and we should be getting the rest of the fundings that it should be, they'd say in February, but no later than March.
We received
Hopefully.
14,000 today from them. So, to give you a sense of the numbers, they're real.
And are the ARs as of the end of the year? Are they through 12/31?
Yeah, because that just came in today. The AR report doesn't reflect that 14.
Okay. Yeah, but it's different than the financials, which are through November generally in what you sent out.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, because it's only the 3rd. The December month isn't closed out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, just a FYI on that, Rick, just to recap, they expressed that one of the budgets had dated October 31st on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That probably was just missed to change the date. I think the numbers are correct though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Millport too.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, and we letters already went out for the increase. Letters went out. I didn't want to do it before the holiday. I did it right after the holiday. So, last week Wednesday, I posted all the buildings, and everybody had gotten the rent increases that will take effect from February 1st as their lease comes up going forward. And the parents, when we had the situation with those kids hanging out on the property, I don't think with the weather permitting them to be hanging out now, we won't have that problem. But Nicole did address each of the families herself. She said she went knocking on doors and talked to them about their kids hanging out.
Oh, great, thank you.
So, yeah. We just got the generator installation is still in progress. We're just waiting on them to give us a date for when they're going to finalize the project. And that I just saw today. Everything else, the elevator in 35 is up and running. We're just waiting on, I guess, to repair the phone inside that elevator.
Yeah, I blew a gasket, by the way.
I can imagine.
They got the board replaced only to say it was some other device that was also fried. They get that going, it's up and running. And now they said, oh, the phone's not working. We have to replace the phone. And I figured, no big deal. What could a phone be? $2,500 for the phone. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, he was showing me how the board is burnt out and all this stuff. And I'm like, I really know what the heck that looks like. But it didn't look burnt out or anything wrong with it. He was able to, I don't know, he had like a wire, and he showed how it works without it. And then he clicked it to bypassing the motherboard, and the line itself works. It's just the motherboard to that phone system does not work.
At $2,500.
Yeah. They think just as they see us coming, I swear.
So I complained. They gave us a 15% discount today, as a matter of fact, after I complained about it, because I thought it was outrageous to spend $2,500 on a phone.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's because of the dirty power, right? I mean, it would be really good to document this stuff when we go to Eversource and say, what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that they're going to say nothing except to investigate surge protection at the buildings, and that, which is no minor thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to have, aren't you supposed to have somebody look into that surge protection, Rick?
Yeah, and I spoke with the engineer that we use named IES, and they for a fee, they'll come out and do a study, and he owes me a price on that. But basically the idea is they come out, they do a study, and then based on the study, they do a design, and then based on the design, you do an install, and it's a real number. But at the same time, you're spending real money replacing appliances and elevator equipment and telephones. So over time, it might be worth it.
Now, as we have our final payments from Canaan Parish, it's like this is probably the right time to freaking do it. I mean, it just stinks, but it stinks having to pay all. We're getting a death by some pretty serious cuts, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah,
particularly for the buildings with the elevators, because then you have lost rent and everything else associated with it, reduced rent for those parts that take forever to get. So,
so I'm going to send him a New Year's note right now and ask him about that study price. General trend on the AR reports is that they're slowly coming down. You'll notice the largest one, phase 2, is down to 74 on the AR report that was sent out. So that's creeping down, and hopefully we can continue that trend. There's going to be, I think what we're going to wind up doing is like the Tiffany Lantons and those others that were evicted with large balances with the audit upon us now. Probably the time to consider writing those off. We hope that some collection activity might recover some of the money, but odds are that if we do, it'll even be a small amount. So I think as we get into the audit work with Cone, that we consider what we want to write off to get that thing back to a report that reflects who's actually at the property and not being skewed by the Tiffany Lantons of the world.
And writing it off doesn't compromise the collection process, does it?
No, I think it just takes it off our books.
Yeah, it's just an accounting.
Right.
Okay.
Right. From a financial perspective, I sent out the reports. You'll see that I think things are improving, albeit modestly. In the case of the mill apartments, we're ahead of budget, which is great. Phase 1, we are behind, but the amount that we're behind was the amount of the insurance increase. So, it ties almost exactly. So, recognizing that the insurance increase, it was an outlier issue. The rest of the budget's following, where we projected it to. And now with this new State Farm program, that insurance number, going forward, should be back in line with what we're used to paying. So hopefully we can, start to see a positive turn on the phase 1 budget. And then phase 2, continues to be the one that's the most difficult. It, of course, has 33,000 in extra expense on the insurance side, but the low rents there are the culprit. But we're plugging along and we're sharing expenses and moving money between the properties when needed. So we're making it all work. But hopefully over time, we'll see that start to improve a little bit as we get some rent increases through and improve collections too.
Yeah, that insurance thing was just a killer.
Yeah, yeah, it really was.
So I mean, so Rick, I'm just doing as a quick kind of rule of thumb. I'm just doing some pro forma work on some other possible stuff. If you said that 50% of revenue goes to expenses for a property, that's probably plus or minus and in the right neighborhood for an affordable project.
Yeah, I usually like to use like around 8,500 a unit. So let's just see if that math bears out. So if you got
probably in the right neighborhood. So if we had 1543 times 12 equals 18, yeah. Divided by 2. Yeah, half would be 9,200. And so that's about the right zone. Okay, thank you.
Yep. So any specific questions on financials I can try and answer?
Okay. Not on the financials, but I'm wondering, talking about something that's been brought up several times is your need for a vehicle now that the maintenance guys are over at Canaan Parish. You're going back and forth and you're carrying stuff. So I'm wondering, does it make any sense at all to lease a truck or a van or something, panel van or something?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, from a mileage perspective, it shouldn't get a lot of miles. So I would think you could probably do, if you did a lease, you could probably do like a 10,000 mile a year type lease. So yeah, that might be a reasonable way to do it, to, keep cash in the accounts and just, have that monthly lease payment instead.
I don't know, Scott, you've got more of a corporate fleet than any of us. So, what is your...
In spite of trying to get rid of all of our vehicles, we still have about a dozen or so. And actually it's probably more than that, which I hate the liability of, but leasing or owning doesn't particularly matter. I don't really know where the market is right now. I mean, with with interest rates being up, and leasing, of course, the leasing costs are way up. But I have no idea what the equation looks like today for one or the other. There's definitely some logic just to have a lease, and especially for low mileage. But owning it, if we're going to own it actually, I mean, the lease maybe the better deal just for not the capital expense up front. We can always buy it out at the end of the lease if it's advantageous to do so. And if the thing's actually worn out, then we can go ahead and dump it and go on. I don't feel strongly one way or the other.
Scott, maybe we should speak to Stephen Leo Call. I mean, they taken vehicles that are being traded, or they also do leases. We can find out if they can work with us.
Nope, it's easy to ask. And do we know what we want?
I think a 8-foot bed, 4x4, two-door cab truck, work truck.
Rick, I will contact them to tell them, that you will be contacting them with the details and see if you can work out something.
Okay.
And we would not do our own plowing, right? But we might do our own extra sanding or salting or anything, or this would just be really pure maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maintenance, and then it's the kind of thing where 8-foot bed you can put some bags of sand or salt in the back in the wintertime and drive around and spread it. But no, it wouldn't be the idea to replace the plowing. I kind of like not only pushing the plowing work, but the plowing liability off onto a contractor.
Concur.
And then, so this would be for travel to and from supply houses and in between the buildings, carrying tools, supplies, what have you, for the maintenance team would be the primary.
How do they do that now, Rick? They're
using their personal vehicles, yeah.
And you think about the trash that we got to carry and the other stuff to move around. I mean, look, we got 200 some odd units. We got to have some sort of assets and to use them to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives us the opportunity to do things like dump runs when bulky crap gets dumped at the dumpsters. We need to get rid of it, all that kind of stuff. It's helpful for all of that.
Yep.
By the way, in the report you mentioned in the work orders about the evicted tenant that left furniture and dishes and pots and pans. Well, there's a swap shop right near us at the recycling center. Perhaps we should bring it there.
Yeah, nah, it's nothing you would want. Nothing anybody would want. Disgusting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
No,
Okay.
I would have done that if that was the case. I would not have, just let it go. There's other tenants here that have moved in under VAWA and don't have furniture that would be willing to have someone take it and bring it to them. But nah, it wasn't nothing of any value. Disgusting.
Too bad. Okay.
Okay. Amy, I think you've run through most of your report, correct?
Yes, it's done. Yeah.
Okay.
That's completed.
Can I ask a quick question? Amy, what is the minimum for the one bedroom, the minimum income?
56,000 at this moment.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other public business to discuss? All right. Then should we move to executive session?
I move.
All right. Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you to tenants for joining us. If you guys would please drop off, we'd appreciate it. And we'll be back here at the same old